Hi everyone, this is Wendy from the Lexington Senior Center. I'm here today to take you through a seated workout. So we'll be sitting down the whole entire time. This is our active aging class at the Lexington Senior Center. This class is really in particular for those people that can't stand for long periods of time. So if you're somebody that after 10 minutes or so you want to sit down, maybe this is the best workout for you. So you want to make sure you have a sturdy chair. You don't want to be sitting in anything that rolls or in an easy chair. So maybe a good sturdy kitchen chair. I'm going to use weights and a ball, but if you don't have hand weights at home, you can use cans of vegetables, or you can use a couple Diet Cokes or whatever you got around your house. Instead of a ball, you could actually use a small pillow, or sometimes it'll work if you just fold up a blanket. Okay, so whatever it is you want to use, and you know what? You don't have to use any equipment at all. You can still get a good workout with me without having any equipment, all right? So we're going to sit in our chair up towards the front. We don't want to lay back in the chair. You really want to have enough room behind you where somebody else could actually sit in the chair with you. Okay, I'm going to kind of force you to sit up nice and tall and engage your core. Feet are flat to the floor. We'll just start with a few shoulder rolls. So I'm going to roll my shoulders towards the back of the room. I want to feel those shoulder blades go up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. And I suggest you do your shoulder rolls to the back rather than the front, because typically during the day we all tend to hunch our shoulders forward. So we really want to get the chest open. We'll relax those shoulders a little bit. I'm going to wiggle my fingers, kind of open and close those hands, see how those hands feel today. And maybe circle those wrists a little bit, both directions. And then I'm going to gently bend and straighten my elbow. Just kind of check out that elbow joint, see how I'm feeling. And then I'm going to start swinging a little bit from my shoulders, keeping that bend in the elbows. And then if you can, I want you to take those fingertips, reach up and see if you can touch your shoulder blades. And only do that if you can keep your chin up. So if you find you're looking down every single time, then just touch the front of the shoulders. We're going to reach around, give ourselves a nice big hug. And then we'll just switch that arm on top, just a nice big hug. And I'm going to relax those arms, give them a little shake. Let's rotate our trunk a little bit. So just kind of keeping the belly loose right now. A little bit of trunk rotation. So rotating your trunk will help strengthen your core, but it also helps create healthy internal organs. It really squeezes the toxins out of those internal organs. So you should do trunk rotations every day. We'll stop there. Roll those shoulders again, up, back, and down. I'm going to press my shoulders down. Feet stay nice and flat. I'm just going to turn my head to one side. Doesn't matter which way you go. And we'll just come back to the center. I'll rotate the other way, just nice and easy. Coming back to center. Let's take our focus to our feet. So I'm going to wiggle my toes a little bit inside my shoes. So if I was wiggling my toes, then I want you to curl your toes under in your shoe and then spread them apart wide. Curl your toes under in your shoe and then spread them wide. You should have enough room in that shoe to get those toes moving around. And then you're going to relax the toes. We'll tap the feet up and down, my heels down. And instead of focusing on the toe, take your attention more to your ankle, what your ankle is doing. So when I feel movement in that ankle, then I'm going to put my toes down and kind of tap those heels up and down. Still focusing on movement in my ankle. Then I'm going to do toe and a heel. So I'm going to do what's called a foot roll. So having good mobility in your ankle is vital for balance. One of the things we focus on in our stability class is having good ankle mobility. Go ahead and relax the feet, maybe wiggle the toes again. I'm going to have you kind of roll side to side on your foot a few times. I'll have you relax those legs and bring them in a little bit. So So all I want you to do is kind of open and close the legs, almost like I'm getting ready to get out of my car and then I change my mind. I open and close a little bit. So just starting to focus on your abductors and adductors of the legs, the inside and outside of your thighs. Sometimes when we do seated exercises, our hip flexors will get tight. If that happens, you can always just take a little break. And I'll show you a quick little stretch for those in just a moment. We'll relax it in the middle. I'm going to scoot back in my chair just a little bit. And I'm just going to do a few leg extensions to continue warming up. So I'm just going to alternate kind of kicking that foot out. You don't have to lift your leg up off the chair. Just bend and straighten the leg. When you straighten that leg out, you want to focus on the front of the thigh. When you feel that foot come back in, we're kind of focusing on the back of the thigh. Couple more. Then I'm going to scoot forward once again. So if you feel like those hip flexors are getting too tight during class, you can scoot over and kind of kick your leg out, get that leg straight. That'll help release that hip flexor. You can also scoot forward and kind of pretend you're at the beach and straighten those legs out like you're getting a suntan. Okay, so that'll help release any kind of tension in those hip flexors. Particularly if you have long legs, sometimes those hip flexors get a little bit tighter. So I'm going to bring my legs and my feet together. I'm going to keep the feet flat to the floor and I'm going to open them and close my knees a little bit. So we're not trying to force it. I'm not rolling my feet. Just kind of opening and closing a few times, almost like a clam. Then I'm going to stop and take those feet a little wider. My feet stay flat. I'm going to do the same thing. Knees go together and apart. You don't really want to roll those feet or shift the weight in your foot. Just a couple more. And then we'll relax it, bringing those feet back in. One last little thing, and then we'll get moving a little bit more. So I'm going to take my hands up on top of the thighs. All I'm going to do is roll up and over the knee. I'm going to come down to about mid-shin. I'm just going to let my head stay in a straight line with my neck. So I'm bringing the chest and the belly towards my thighs. I come up. I'm going to stop at the top right where my shoulders are over my hips. So I'm just doing a little bit of supported forward flexion to start. Up and over. Make sure you're not holding your breath. The best time to exhale is when you're right down here. And then when you come up nice and tall, the rib cage is already expanded. You can get a nice breath in. Forward flexion is also one of those moves that helps with that good organ health. Sometimes it can stimulate your digestive system. So if you've had something to eat before you exercise, sometimes your tummy can get all gurgly when you're doing forward flexion. Next time you're up, just stay up. Kind of roll those shoulders again. So we should kind of know how we feel from head to toe now. Maybe there's a certain area we need to be a little more patient with. That's totally fine. You do your workout for you. We're going to start moving our body a little bit more. We're going to do an add-on. So we're going to work arms and legs. We're going to add a movement as we go along. If you don't like a move I'm doing, just do something else. The biggest thing is that you move your body. All right, we'll start out with some marches. If you don't like to march or it bothers your hip flexors, you can always pump your heels or your toes. So I'm marching, tiny little marches, just enough to slide your hand under your foot on the floor. So we don't need to try to do this stuff, just little marches. So I'm going to add some arms. All I'm going to do is push those arms out front. So I'm going to push and pull. We want arm movement, but really what we want is movement in your shoulder blades. So I want you to feel your shoulder blades go together and apart. If you start moving the arms and all of a sudden your feet stop, I want you to forget the arms because the leg movement is more important. Our legs are what gets us through our day. So I've got that little march, both arms working. Sitting up nice and tall. We're gonna go from a march to a little toe tap out in front. Just go ahead and put your hands on your hips. So I'm gonna tap my toe out and in. And I want you to try to point your toe and put your foot right through the screen. So I tap and tap, toe taps. Then I'm gonna add my arms, it's same arm as foot, little push out. Maybe you can go a tad higher with your arms here. They're still forward of your face. Couple more, and then we're gonna go back to that march. Ready? Here we go. So I march and push front. Getting some movement in those shoulder blades. Sitting up nice and tall. So what was our second move we added? It was those long toe taps. Here we go. Tap and reach. Try to point your toe. Tap and reach. Good, a couple more. Pump your heels up and down. Just put your hands on your hips to start. Pump those heels up and down. Toes are on the floor. Let's circle the arms. So I'm gonna roll the arms. So instead of just working in my hands, I want to try to get across that forearm. Tapping the heels. I'm going to change from the heels to toe taps. So both feet coming up, tapping the toes. Then I'm going to change the direction of my arms. So I'm going to spin back. Make sure you don't hit yourself in the nose. I've done that many times. Tap, tap, tap. So we're going to go heels. Here we go. Reverse the direction of your arms. Toes, reverse. Heels again. Then tap those toes. Get some mobility in those ankles. One more time with the heels. One more time with the toes. Let's go back to the march. Here we go. Pushing the arms. Getting that movement in your shoulder blades. Couple more, and then we're going to do those long toe taps, all right? Ready, set, go. Nice long toe taps. Reach and pull. Pointing that toe all the way out there. Couple more, make sure your belly's in. Pump those heels, here we go. Pumping the heels. Now go to toes, change direction. Switch it again. Switch it again. I want you to open your leg to the side. So I go out, in, out, in. My arm's just gonna follow my leg. So kind of like I'm opening a gate. We want to try to move the whole leg rather than just tapping the toe. Open and close the whole leg. So you might kind of feel the back of the leg sliding on your chair. A couple more. Back to the beginning, we march. Here we go. So I push and pull. Remember, the focus is on my back. Shoulder blades moving. Couple more. Tap your toes, single arm. If your shoulders allow it, maybe you want to go a little higher with this one. Couple more each way. And then we're going to pump those heels. Here we go. Pump the heels, circle the arms. Remember, we change it all together if we can. So we go toes, reverse direction. Change it, going again. It doesn't matter if you're doing something different. All right, just move your body. Switch it one more time. Go. And then we're going to open the gate. Arms and legs working together. Here we go. Opening and closing. Trying to get the foot and the knee working together. Couple more each side. Still open and close. Two more. Then I want you to stop and touch the head. So it goes head, shoulders, knees, toes. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. If you can't quite get to the toes, go to the middle of the shin. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. One more. Back to the beginning. Here we go. March. Reach and pull with the arms. So if you can get those legs moving, you might feel that heart rate coming up. Let's tap those toes out front. Same arm and leg. Maybe you can go a little higher. If it bothers your shoulder, just bring those arms straight back down. Do you remember what's next? Pump the heels. Or we hope that's what's next. Tap the toes. We're going to change it all again. Ready? Pump those heels. Switch the direction. Sitting up nice and tall. One more time. Tap those toes. Then we're going to open the gate. Ready, set, go. Open the gate. Trying to move the arm and leg. Same time. Keeping that foot under the knee. Let's do 4 more each side. Here's 4. Couple more, and then it's head, shoulders, knees, toes. Ready? Here we go. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Head, shoulders. Keep that head in a nice straight line with your neck. You don't have to be looking forward. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. 2 more. Let's go 1 more. I want you to come up, roll those shoulders. Wiggle those fingers at me. Open and close those hands. Wiggle those fingers. Open and close those hands. Good, just a few trunk rotations. So you should feel like we got that blood pumping a little bit. And then we'll stop in the center, maybe get that good shoulder roll in again. So we're going to go back to just wiggling the fingers. And then open and close the hands. So I want you to take that open and close and kind of act like you're grabbing fireflies, lightning bugs, whatever you want to call them. Depends on where you grew up. I don't want to grab them so tight that I squish them, so I just want to grab them and kind of hold them in my hand. Then I'm going to change it, so I'm going to start flicking water off my fingers. So I'm flicking, flicking. The movement is out. Let's get those fireflies, those lightning bugs again, nice and easy. Sitting up nice and tall. Then flick the water, flick it, flick it. Then shake those hands a little bit. So I want you to take one hand, doesn't matter to me which one. You want to catch your fireflies, okay? Your opposite hand is going to flick your water. What I want you to try to do is do it at the exact same time. So I'm going to grab the firefly, the lightning bug, I'm going to flick the water off my hand. So I'm going to try to do it at the exact same time. Exact same time. I grab one, I'm flicking the other. Grabbing one, flicking the other. Shake those hands, we'll try it the other way. So I'm going to grab the firefly, I'm going to flick the water. But I'm going to try to do that at the exact same time. Which that takes some thinking. Because one of them, my force is pulling in, while the other one, the force is going out. So I'm grabbing and flicking at the same time. All right, good. Shake those hands. Maybe get a drink of water. All right? We're going to use our hand weights. And like I said, if you do not have hand weights, you can use canned goods. You can use bottles of water. You can just use the resistance of your own muscles. Most people over the age of 50 are dehydrated. especially in the United States, we have lots of free, clean water and we walk around dehydrated. So really try to keep yourself hydrated. It really affects your thinking if you are dehydrated, as well as just the way your whole body functions. But don't wait till you're thirsty to get a drink of water. I'm going to use my hand weights. You can decide if you want to or not. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. So it's got a weight in each hand. You do not have to have the same amount of weight in each hand. It's really actually more functional, like daily life, if you don't, because how many times do your Kroger bags weigh the exact same? They almost never do. So if you have one that's a little bit heavier than the other, that is more lifelike. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. My palms are against my body, facing my thighs, and I'm going to work a full range of motion bicep curl. Full range of motion, which means I rotate the palm. My elbows stay close to my body. I'm not swinging. My full range of motion, I bring that weight all the way up. Watch that you're not getting a little flip in the wrist. A lot of us like to do that. We want to keep those wrists nice and straight. Maybe you want to alternate arms, that's fine. So when I curl up, I'm working the front of the arm, that bicep. But when I start to extend my arm, I'm actually working the tricep. So you want to make sure that you are also focusing on this part of your move. Most of us have a pretty strong bicep muscle, and then our tricep, not so much. So try to focus on the straightening of the arm a little bit. A couple more reps, and you don't have to do every rep. I'm going to put those weights at my side, kind of wiggle my fingers. My shoulders are down. Very little movement in my arms. All I'm going to do is contract the shoulder blades. Kind of feel like I'm sticking my chest out. You can see that my shoulders move back slightly, and then I'm going to release it. But I'm not rounding to the front. I'm just going to neutral. So engaging those shoulder blades, squeezing that pencil between my shoulder blades, and then releasing it. Squeezing and releasing. So you're getting a little stretch in your chest, but gaining some strength in the back. Nice and steady. A couple more. This is an easy exercise, but it is extremely beneficial, especially for your posture. We're going to relax those weights into your lap. Maybe wiggle your fingers a little bit. And then we'll go back into those weights. So I'm going to start at my sides, but I'm going to tip forward, so a hip hinge, almost like I have an ironing board down the back of my shirt. I'm going to lean forward a little bit like I'm smelling a rose bush. I'm going to take those weights out in front towards the toe. I'm going to pull back to my hip. So I engage those shoulder blades again. When I push away, I separate the shoulder blades and squeeze the chest. So we're doing a low row. So I'm doing a pull and a push from my toe to my hip. Toe to hip. Head in a nice straight line with your neck. Pull and push. We're going to push out front. We're going to stay there. So this time I want you to go from toe to rib cage. So I'm doing a mid row. So I come up higher into my torso. I push, I pull. Push and pull. Push and pull. Watch you're not shrugging those shoulders as you come back. Just squeeze those shoulder blades. You want to work hard enough where you feel like you get fatigued, but you don't want to be in pain. We're going to relax it, put those weights on our thighs, kind of sit up, roll those shoulders, wiggle those fingers again. So make sure you're holding your weights firmly, but you don't have a death grip on them. Going back to that long position with my arms. So I'm going to go back to those shoulder blade squeezes. Squeezing and releasing. Just a couple more. This time I want you to squeeze back and hold. And then give me little pulses there. Squeeze a little tighter. So you shouldn't see a lot of movement in the arm, a little bit. So squeezing those shoulder blades. And then we'll relax it. Putting those weights in our lap, roll those shoulders. I'm gonna put my weights down. We'll come back to them, but I'm gonna put them down for now. If you need that drink of water, get that drink of water. Make sure you're up on your chair. Wiggle those fingers, circle those wrists. And then I want you to start marching again, so a little march. Remember, if you don't want to march, you can do anything you want with those legs. Let's push those arms out, so this should look familiar. Push and pull with the arms. We're gonna go back to those long toe taps. Here we go, side to side. Reaching up if you can, pushing that toe through the front. Nice and long. And then we're gonna pump those heels up and down and spin our arms. Here we go. So think about crossing the forearms if you can. Let's do toe taps, reverse the spin. Still sitting tall, heels, reverse that spin. Reverse it one more time, go. And then we're gonna open the gate. Remember, the arms and legs gonna work together, same side. Here we go, so I'm gonna open the gate. Trying to take my foot and my knee together. A couple more. Let's do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. A couple more times. One more. And then we're gonna stop and rotate that trunk. And just a little burst of energy. And we'll relax it. So all I want you to do now is just cross your leg. If you can go knee over knee, that's what I prefer. Just cross it. If you can't quite get the knees, then go up high in your shin bone. But just cross the leg, nothing fancy. We're just gonna switch legs. Go up and over. So I'm just gonna alternate, crossing the leg, trying to just kind of squeeze those thighs together. Couple more times, picking that leg up. Watch that when you pick up the leg, that you're not throwing yourself back in your chair to get the leg across. Try to sit up nice and tall. Let's try to do one more each way. And then I'll just shake those legs a little bit. So take a moment, kind of check in, see how you're feeling from head to toe. Do you need to make any adjustments? Is something bothering you? Maybe you need to not work that body part quite as hard. If you want a drink, grab a drink of water. I'm gonna pick up my yellow ball, but remember, you can use a little pillow. You can like buy a play ball at the dollar store. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. This is actually a Pilates ball. It's a little bit thicker, and we use these all the time at the center. I'm gonna sit forward on my chair and place that ball up in my thighs. You don't want it directly in the knee. You wanna get it up in the meaty part of your leg. In a perfect world, my ankle is under my knee. So from a side view, the knee and the ankle are stacked there, okay? Feet flat. You wanna push your feet down into the floor almost like you're trying to make an imprint of your shoe on the floor the whole time. The second you push your feet down, you're gonna feel those thighs engage a little bit more. We wanna try to keep that pressure there, all right? So that push down the entire time. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I've got a string attached to the top of my head and it's attached to the ceiling. It's kind of pulling me upright. My feet are pushing me down, so I feel like I'm being stretched, all right? So all I'm gonna do is squeeze and release that ball. I'm gonna squeeze it and release it a little bit. The whole time I'm gonna try to push those feet down. So working the inside and outside of the leg, but but you're also engaging those quadriceps quite a bit. And you can put a little booty squeeze in there, kind of squeeze those booty cheeks together and engage those gluteals. If you will really squeeze those butt muscles, you'll kind of feel yourself get taller in the chair. Anytime we can engage those gluteal muscles, we want to. Squeeze, squeeze. Pushing those feet down. Let's do 2 or 3 more, whatever you want to do. I'm going to relax and let the legs relax, kind of wiggle the toes. I'm going to pick up one of my hand weights. And I'm going to hold each head of the hand weight. So if you have a can good, you want to turn it on its side. All right? I'm going to go back to the push down. So I feel those legs engaged. I'm going to go back to the same move with my legs. But I'm going to kind of ride a hand crank bike with my upper body. So let's start the legs. So I'm going to squeeze and release the legs. We're going to take my weight and work it like it's a hand crank bike, coming up and over. Making a nice big circle. Every time I squeeze that ball, my arms are moving. Up and over. Up and over. Can you get that booty squeeze going? Without hitting yourself in the nose, can you change the direction? And I'm only saying that because I will be the one that hits myself right in the bridge of my nose. Before I was 12 years old, I had been in the emergency room 14 times. So there you go. I have apologized to my mother many times. Couple more. Let's relax it all. Kind of wiggle those fingers, relax those legs. I'm going to put my weight in my right hand. All I'm going to do is take that weight, bring it out front, and switch hands. So I'm coming up and over. So I'm alternating a frontal raise. I'm trying not to swing and get momentum. But as I make that transfer, I'm going to squeeze the ball. Squeeze the ball. Squeeze the ball. Maybe get those booty cheeks squeezing, pushing those feet down. Almost done with that ball. Nice and smooth. Don't lift any higher than your shoulders. There's no reason. And you don't have to lift that high. Nice steady breath. We're going to go ahead and relax it. You can take that ball out and put it down. I'm going to scoot back and kind of open my legs up a little bit. So I kind of look like a V, and then I'm going to shift my weight side to side. So I can just kind of release that hip flexor, the inside of my thigh, kind of like I'm on a boat. Make sure you're to the back of your chair because I'm going to have you flex forward, and I don't want you to do a somersault out of your chair. So I'm at the back. I can have my hands on my chair. I'm going to kind of flex forward like I'm smelling that rose bush, and then I want to think about pointing my knees out a little bit. You can push your hands down in your chair, push yourself up, bring those legs back in, give them a little shake. So let's do just a quick little core segment. We've already done quite a bit of core. I'm going to scoot forward on my chair again. We want to put that ironing board in my shirt. So we did forward flexion, we've done rotation, now we're going to do extension to the back, all right? So you want to try to keep your spine as straight as possible. If you need to, you can tuck your chin a little bit. I just don't want you to thrust your head up, all right? So if my body were a straight line, all we're going to do is tip back. I'm going to take my shoulder blades towards the chair, and then I'm going to come up, but I'm not resting on my chair. My feet have to stay flat to the floor. I'm going to hold my weight. I'm going to pull my tummy in. I'm going to start to get that extension back. I barely touch the chair. Then I reach my shoulder blades or my weight out, and I pull myself up. So I bring the weight back with me, pull my tummy in, push the weight out, and pull myself up. When I'm back here, I'm not laying on my chair. I'm tightening those belly muscles and holding myself up. If it's too hard for you, scoot closer to the back of your chair so your extension is smaller. If it's too easy, then scoot forward on the chair and get yourself way out there on the edge. So I tip, I reach, I pull. I tip, tummy in, I reach, I pull. Feet stay down on the floor. Flat if possible, definitely the tippy toes stay down. Can you get maybe 2 more in there? Or 1 if you just want to do 1. Coming back, reaching out, pulling up, good. Relax it, kind of scoot back. You can put your weight down. And I want you to actually just kind of lean forward, like you're telling me a secret. Just kind of lean, let that back extend, expand. Relax your belly. I want you to take your head side to side like you're saying no. Just easy, side to side. And then stop in the middle and take your head up and down, easy like you're saying yes. We'll stop in the center. We're going to put those hands on our thighs and push ourselves up. We get up there, kind of roll those shoulders again. How are we feeling? We should be feeling pretty good. Let's sit forward. Push one leg out, flex your foot, show me the bottom of your shoe. You want to pull your toes back enough where you feel a little bit of a calf stretch. Your opposite hand's going to go on the thigh. I want you just to tip forward, reach. Come on back upright. So it's just a hinge forward. And then I'm coming right back. One more, and this time we're going to hold. So I've got that hinge forward, and then I'm going to come down and go towards the toe. Coming up nice and easy, pulling it back in. We're switching legs. I'm going to flex that foot, show me the bottom of your shoe. Same hand comes out. You get that tip from the hip, little bit of a lean. Coming right back up. Little bit of a full body lean. Coming right back up, keeping that foot flexed. Last time, I'm coming out. This time I'm going to hinge a little bit more and come towards the floor. Don't hold your breath. We're coming back up. Hinge and come on in. Give those legs a little bit of a shake. Rotate that trunk again. Doesn't matter to me which side. Just pick one and stop. I'm going to go to that hip. Give a little bit of a push, a twist, and then look behind. I'm going to bring my head front first and then unravel. I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to kind of get that hip, rotate my trunk, look to the back. Bringing the head back to center first, and then my body. Relax and roll those shoulders. I'm going to kind of cheat and scoot over to the side of my chair and then kick my leg out. We talked about that hip flexor stretch. So I'm just going to get a little release. You can hold on to your chair. We want to try to get that part of your leg straight, right where it attaches to your body. That's where your hip flexor is. And hold nice and still. We won't stay here long. We'll swing it out and around and just cheat to the other side and kind of kick it out and back. Just where I can get it straight. You can always bend the back knee if you want to and tuck, as long as this part of the leg is straight. Kind of lean in, swing it around. Give those legs a little bit of a shake. And then remember how we did those easy bicep curls. Brought those elbows up and forward. And I'm going to start to touch my shoulder blades again. Hopefully those shoulders feel a little bit better when you started. Reach around and give yourself a hug. We're going to open wide and low. Reach around, give yourself a hug. Open wide and low. Come on around and wiggle those fingers again. Open and close those hands. Give yourself a hand because you did more than most people will do today. All right, I appreciate you joining me for class. If you are 60 and older, a resident of Fayette County, come and join us at the Lexington Senior Center on Life Lane. There is no cost to you to be a member of the center. We have lots of activities. We have fitness, we have arts programs, we serve lunch, we have something going all the time, every single day. You can also reach me at the Senior Center. My name's Wendy. If you call the center at 859-278-6072, I would be more than happy to help you. All right, thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.